Right now, you are doing something so ordinary you never even notice it. You are turning tiny puffs of air into meaning. You are using words. You will speak thousands of them today without a second thought. They fall out of you like breathing, effortless, automatic, invisible. But every single word you know is descended from something, and somewhere in our deep past there was a very first one. The first word ever spoken out loud. One creature, one throat, one moment, one sound that meant something to another mind. What did it sound like? And why did it change everything? Here is the frustrating truth. We will never actually hear it. Sound does not fossilize. It vanishes the instant it is made. There is no bone, no tool, no cave painting of a spoken word. The first sentence ever whispered left no fossil in the ground at all. And yet that has not stopped us, because the first word left one enormous clue behind. It left us, the talking apes who are still saying words today. So scientists became detectives. They cannot dig up the first word, so instead they ask a deeper question. How does a silent animal ever become one that speaks at all? Start with your own body, because it is a machine built for talking, and it is far stranger than you think. When you speak, your lungs push air up through your voice box. Your throat, tongue, and lips shape that air into hundreds of tiny distinct sounds faster than you can follow. No other animal can do this the way we do. A chimp, our closest cousin, simply cannot make the range of sounds you make without even trying. Part of the reason is hidden in your throat. In humans, the voice box sits surprisingly low, opening up a long chamber above it that can bend sound into speech. It came at a price. That low throat means we can choke on our food far more easily than other animals. We literally risked choking to gain the power to speak. Evolution made that trade anyway. Somewhere along the way, being able to talk was worth more than being safe from choking. That tells you how powerful words are. But a good throat is not enough. A parrot has a fine voice and still does not have language. The real machine of speech is not in the mouth, it is in the brain. Deep in our biology sits a tiny piece of code, a gene nicknamed FOXP2. It helps wire the brain circuits that control the fine, fast movements of speech. Scientists found a family who carried a broken version of this gene. They struggled badly to form words and control the muscles of their mouths. The human version of this gene is subtly different from the one in chimps, a small change deep in our ancestors that helped tune our brains for talking. It is not a magic word switch. There is no single gene for language, but it is one thread in a huge tapestry of changes that slowly turned a clever ape into a speaking one. So we had the throat, we had the brain slowly rewiring itself. The stage was set, but we still have not answered the real question. What was actually said first? For centuries, this question was almost forbidden. It seemed impossible to answer, so serious scholars refused to touch it. But the guesses are wonderful. One old idea is playfully called the bow-wow theory. It says the first words were imitations. We heard the world and copied its sounds. A dog goes bow-wow, so the word for dog becomes bow-wow. Thunder booms, water splashes, a bird cries, and the mouth simply echoes it back. You can still feel this in words that sound like their meaning. Buzz, splash, crack, hiss. Little fossils of a time when speech may have mirrored the world directly. Another idea is nicknamed the pooh-pooh theory. It says the first words were not clever imitations at all. They were raw feelings bursting out. A cry of pain, a gasp of fear, a grunt of effort, a shout of joy, sounds we did not choose that slowly hardened into words everyone understood. Think of the sounds you still make without deciding to. Ow, wow, ugh, aha. They may be the oldest speech of all, echoes from before real words existed. But many scientists think the real story did not begin in the mouth at all. It began in the hand. Long before we could speak, our ancestors could point. And pointing is a small miracle. It means two minds agreeing to look at the same thing. The researcher Michael Tomasello showed that this shared attention is the secret ingredient. A chimp rarely points to simply share the world. A human baby does it constantly. Before there were words, there had to be the desire to share a thought at all, to say, in effect, you and I, let us both think about that. Once two minds could lock on to the same thing, a sound attached to it could finally mean something. The pointing finger taught the mouth what a word was for. So perhaps the first word was not the name of an object. Perhaps it was a call, a sound that simply meant look or hear or you and me together now. And whatever it was, the moment it worked, everything changed. Because a word is a bridge between two minds that were sealed apart. Before words, everything you knew died inside your own skull. You could not hand a thought to another person. Each mind was a locked island. With a shared word, a thought could leap from one head into another and stay alive there. Knowledge could suddenly outlive the person who found it. One human could now warn another about a danger they had never seen. That tree is poison. That river drowns. That path leads home. A parent could teach a child in an afternoon what took a lifetime to learn. Words let us pour experience from one generation straight into the next. Words let us plan together. We could agree on a hunt before it began, name a meeting place, promise to return. We could build a future out of sound. A single mind is clever, but minds joined by words become something far greater. A tribe that could think as one, remember as one, and dream as one. This is the real power of that first word. It did not just name the world, it stitched separate humans into a single thinking whole. And once it started, it could not stop. One word became two, two became many. Sounds combined into new meanings faster and faster. We learned to put words in an order, and the order itself carried meaning. Dog bites man is not man bites dog. Grammar was born from that simple trick. From a handful of grunts and calls, human language exploded into the millions of words and endless sentences we swim in today. Every language on earth, all 7,000 of them, is a descendant of those first fragile sounds. A vast family tree grown from one ancient root. And here is the strangest part. You can still watch the whole miracle happen. It replays in every human child right in front of us. A baby starts with pure feeling, exactly like the pooh-pooh idea. It cries, it coos, it babbles sounds that mean nothing yet. Then before real words, it points. It looks at you, looks at the thing, and shares it. Shared attention arriving right on schedule. And then one ordinary day it happens. A single clear word, mama, and a parent's whole world lights up because a new mind has just crossed the bridge. That tiny moment in a nursery is a small echo of the biggest moment in our history. Each of us reinvents language from silence to speech in just a couple of years. You crossed that bridge yourself long ago in a moment you cannot remember, and you have been walking across it every day since. Every text you send, every joke you land, every argument, every I love you is built from that same ancient invention, air shaped into meaning. We are so soaked in words that we forget they are a technology, the oldest one we have, older than the wheel, older than fire's mastery, running quietly in your mouth. And it is fragile too. A language can die when its last speaker falls silent, taking a whole way of seeing the world into the dark with them. So the next time a word simply falls out of your mouth, pause just for a heartbeat and feel how ancient the act really is. You are doing the thing that made us human. Reaching across the gap between one mind and another with nothing but breath and sound. Somewhere unimaginably long ago, a nervous ancestor opened its mouth and made a sound that another one understood, and we have never stopped talking since. You will never know what that first word sounded like, but every word you have ever spoken is its echo, still traveling, still connecting us all the way to you.